the Emirates opened its doors for Arsenal's first Premier League game of the season at home.
The Premier League throws up plenty of challenges, but this has got to be amongst the biggest for Leeds' first away trip. Arsenal at the Emirates. The home team rightly regarded.
And the Gunners sent a message that echoed across England. A 5-0 demolition of Leeds United. A statement win that felt less like 3 points and more like a warning shot to the entire league.
And now there is no more excuses. This is the team now that should go out there and be good enough to win a trophy. And this is their time. And I think that they finally have the squad that they've been wanting to truly build for seasons on end. Arteta finally has it. No excuses.
Victor Gyokeres, the £54.8 million man under scrutiny on social media, silenced every critic in one devastating evening.
Encouraged by Gyokeres, not only by the goal, not only by his movement in and around the 18-yard box, but the work rate. The work rate is going to be important, and I think he brings a lot of that to this team with the obsession, and I think I would call it that, the obsession of scoring goals.
His first goal was pure power, his second a statement, gliding past defenders inside the box before rifling the ball in and celebrating by mocking the online noise. From doubted to feared in one night.
And I think he has so much talent around him now with this Arsenal side that he will have his chances. And it's about whether how clinical he is finishing and in that final third for this Arsenal side will be the key. It might be the key to unlock this entire Arsenal attack all season long. If he's
And while Gyokeres lit up the stage, Jurrien Timber stunned the Emirates with a centre-back's dream performance. Not one, but 2 goals from the Dutchman, proving Arsenal's dead ball mastery is unmatched. Since the start of last season, no team in Europe's top 5 leagues has scored more from corners. Arsenal are kings of set pieces, and Timber showed why.
Well, listen, they get a little bit of criticism in some ways, or, joke about the fact that they score a lot from set pieces, but it's absolutely amazing what they've done, and credit to them. And everybody knows, you're trying to think of these secrets, what they're doing. The delivery is I've never seen delivery like it, really.
Bukayo Saka, the jewel of North London, added the pick of the goals. It was a strike so audacious it drew gasps from the crowd. But joy turned to concern as both Saka and captain Martin Ødegaard limped off injured. Even in glory, shadows linger.
Brought you for a reason. This is the reason. And according to Mikel Arteta, this injury of Bukayo Saka seems to be significant. Those are his words, not mine. I'm thinking, you know what? Now he gets an opportunity to play in a position in which he feels comfortable to make a difference right away.
Yet this was not just about brilliance up front, it was about balance. Arsenal are no longer simply an attacking machine, they are fortress and firepower combined. Another clean sheet, another night where David Raya was untouchable, protected by the iron wall of Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori and Timber. And history was made. At just 15 years and 235 days, Max Staumann became the youngest gunner to appear in the Premier League, and his fearlessness forced a penalty on debut. Arsenal's future is already knocking on the door.
You want to be left-footed. They're just different. The way they move the ball, it's effortless for them. And Arsenal are blessed. If you look at Miles Lewis-Skelly, Saka, Ødegaard, Waneri, I don't know what they're giving them at Arsenal, but they've got some beautiful left foots there, and they just do it differently. And he's going to be a superstar. Make no mistake.
This was more than dominance over Leeds. It was a reminder that Arsenal, alongside Liverpool, are the top contenders to rip the Premier League crown away from Manchester City. 5 goals, no weaknesses, every area of the pitch dripping with power. So here's the question. If Arsenal are this complete, this ruthless, this terrifyingly efficient, can anyone stop them? The Emirates was painted red, buzzing with energy as Arsenal stepped onto the pitch for their first home game of the season. The noise reached another level before kickoff, when new signing Ebereki Eze was presented to the crowd.
Pitch means the world to him. I think he has the capacity to create these magic moments. He can do it from different positions, different situations. He's got that flair, he's got that charisma as well about him that is very contagious.
The welcome was thunderous, and it set the perfect stage for what was to come. From the opening whistle, the Gunners took control. Martin Ødegaard, making his 200th appearance for the club, was everywhere in midfield, dictating tempo and driving the team forward. He came close early, smashing a shot into the side netting, a warning to Leeds that Arsenal were not here to simply play, they were here to dominate. The pressing game quickly suffocated Leeds, forcing errors deep in their own half. From one of those mistakes, Martin Zubimendi stole possession and slipped Victor Gyokeres through on goal. The striker lunged for it, but his effort went narrowly wide, an early glimpse of the danger Arsenal carried with every attack. Leeds responded with a rare moment of threat, forcing David Raya into a world-class save. The Spaniard, fresh from his heroics at Old Trafford a week earlier, tipped Pascal Struijk's powerful header over the bar with lightning reflexes, reminding everyone why he is regarded as the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
I did an interview on the radio for Talk Sport, and both Alan Brazil and Gabby Abonio were saying that he should have saved it as well. Laurie thinks he should have saved it. I think it's a bit harsh. I think one keeper out of every 10 saves that. He was an absolute worldie. It's not, but listen, he hasn't done a lot wrong since the start of this year.
But Arsenal's superiority was inevitable. On 34 minutes, the breakthrough came, and once again, it was from their deadliest weapon, a set piece. Declan Rice curled in a wicked corner, and Jurrien Timber rose like a warrior above the crowd, guiding the ball into the far corner. The Emirates erupted, and Timber, the centre-back to turn goal scorer, made Leeds pay the price for their slack marking.
Comes the corner, header comes in, and Arsenal have...
With momentum fully on their side, Arsenal refused to slow down. Even the setback of losing Odegaard to a shoulder injury couldn't break their rhythm. Bukayo Saka, wearing the captain's armband after the Norwegian went off, stepped up with authority. In stoppage time, he pressed high, dispossessed Leeds, and combined beautifully with Zubimendi and Timber before unleashing a thunderous strike into the top corner. The ball flew past a helpless Lucas Perry, and the Emirates roared with approval.
Chance! Goal! Arsenal lead!
Bukayo Saka has scored in Arsenal's opening home league game in each of the last 3 seasons versus Nottingham Forest in 2023-24, versus Wolves in 2024-25, and yesterday against Leeds. At half-time, the scoreboard read 2-0. Arsenal were cruising, Leeds were crumbling, and the Gunners looked every bit like a team ready to terrify the Premier League once again. The second half had barely begun when the Emirates witnessed the moment it had been waiting for. Just 2 minutes after the restart, Victor Gyokeres finally announced himself in North London with a goal that sent shockwaves through the Premier League.
On his left back berth, stepping inside when he can. Here's Gyokeres, who does favour moving out to the left. It's Victor Gyokeres!
Riccardo Calafiori launched a perfectly measured ball into the left channel, and Gyokeres pounced on it with the hunger of a striker who lives for this kind of stage. Charging forward like a runaway train, he left Pascal Struijk backing off nervously, nudged the ball past him with brutal efficiency, and rifled a shot into the bottom corner. The roar inside the Emirates was deafening. Arsenal had found their new executioner. It was a historic moment for the Swedish striker. His first ever Premier League goal, scored with only his second shot in the competition, and his first strike in English football since his days at Coventry City. From the Championship to the Emirates, Gyokeres had taken the long road back to England, and he made sure his return was unforgettable. The celebration was just as iconic, brushing his hair back in front of the cameras, mocking all the doubts that had flooded social media. This was his statement. This was his arrival.
After getting trolled last match day for touching his hair more than the ball, the Swedish striker shut down the noise with a brilliant brace against Leeds United. His first goal came from a sharp finish inside the box, showing exactly why Arsenal brought him in as their number 9. Then late in the game, he sealed the win with his second, and this time he didn't just score, he made a statement. Gyokeres pulled out the now iconic hair flick celebration, mocking all the jokes from last week and turning them into pure banter fuel.
But even as the Gunners celebrated, fate struck another cruel blow. Bukayo Saka, who had been electric in the first half, pulled up clutching his leg just as he raced towards goal. The sight of Arsenal's golden boy limping off silenced the stadium for a brief moment, a reminder that triumph in football often comes hand in hand with sacrifice.
It's not looking good. He's going to be out for many weeks.
Many being how many?
Many. I cannot be too specific because I don't know, but it will be many weeks.
How big a blow is that for you?
Yeah, it's a huge one. Obviously, it's a big player for us. You just have to see the impact that he's got on the team.
The gloom didn't last long. Just 3 minutes later, Arsenal restored the noise and joy. Declan Rice, once again the architect from the set piece, whipped in another dangerous corner. Timber rose highest, his first header blocked, but when the ball dropped kindly for him a second time, the Dutchman showed incredible composure. He bundled it over the line to seal his brace, and after a quick VAR check, the Emirates erupted again.
It's a very good ball in! And is it going to be bundled in?
From defender to goal scorer, Timber was scripting his own fairy tale alongside Gyokeres. Since the beginning of 2023-24, Arsenal have scored 33 league goals from corners, 10 more than any other team across Europe's Big Five leagues, and 13 more than any other Premier League team across this period. And that's not all. Since the beginning of last season, we have scored 14 goals in the Premier League, courtesy of defenders, the outright most of any team in the competition during this period. At 4-0, the game was all but over, but the message was clear. Arsenal are no longer a team searching for answers up front. They now have a ruthless number 9, and his name is Victor Gyokeres.
That will help us to evolve and find other ways of attacking teams and connecting with each other, and it's clear where Victor is really dangerous, what his superpower, and let's put him as much as possible in those kind of scenarios because something will happen.
With the job already done and Leeds completely dismantled, Mikel Arteta gifted the Emirates a glimpse of the future. On came Max Daumann, just 15 years and 235 days old.
No choice of my own, and then there's a different kind of pressure. He's going to have pressure every day now, how he even, the way he is around the place, right? In at school, of course, I'm sure Arsenal really look after him in that side of it because can't forget about that side. Obviously, Gary alluded to that in the comms, but you can just get the sense that he's got a good head on his shoulders. And he's got good man management there as well. Mikel Arteta, who as well will look after him and he trusts him. And I think that's the biggest thing. When you have a manager that trusts you and it allows you to express yourself, I think that the world's at his feet, but it just kind of makes me...
Stepping into history as the third youngest player ever to appear in the Premier League, the crowd rose to its feet. Sensing they were witnessing the birth of something special, Hale End had produced another wonder kid. What stunned everyone was not just his age, but his fearlessness. There were no nerves in his game.
And then, of course, later on, to add to that, they bring Max Daumann on, and he looked, 15. I still can't believe his kid's 15.
First, he picked up the ball on the right, cut inside with swagger, and unleashed a strike that dipped over the north bank. Then, when a loose free kick dropped into his path, he struck it clean and hard, narrowly missing the target again. 2 half chances, 2 warnings this boy was here to make noise. And in stoppage time, his courage was rewarded. Daumann, full of energy and flair, drove at Anton Stach with lightning pace and forced the foul inside the box. The referee pointed straight to the spot, and the Emirates erupted. The teenager had just won a penalty on his debut.
Daumann goes down, is that a penalty?
Victor Gyokeres, already the new hero of the Emirates, stepped up and thundered it home to complete the 5-0 demolition. Gyokeres became just the second player to net 2+ goals on his home Premier League debut for us after Gabriel Jesus versus Leicester in August 2022. It was the perfect ending to a night that felt more like a statement than a match. Arsenal didn't just win, they introduced the next generation. Daumann's debut, Gyokeres' brace, Timber's double, and Saka's wonder strike all combined into a night that Arsenal fans will talk about for years. The victory lifted the Gunners to the top of the Premier League table. It may only be August, but the warning is clear. Arsenal are balanced, ruthless, and armed with talent both proven and rising. Next stop is Anfield against the reigning champions Liverpool, and the Premier League should be very afraid. Saka and Odegaard both leaving the pitch would have been a nightmare scenario for Arsenal in past seasons. Losing your captain and your most dangerous winger in the same game usually means the system collapses, but this time it didn't. And that is the clearest proof that Arteta has finally built a squad with real depth, a squad ready to fight for the title, no matter the setbacks. When Saka pulled up holding his hamstring in the 51st minute, the Emirates went silent for a moment. No risks were taken, and he was replaced instantly by Leandro Trossard. The Belgian, reliable and versatile, has shown time and again he can step into either wing without the team losing its edge. In the first half, when Odegaard was forced off, Arteta turned to Ethan Nwaneri. Just 17 years old, already tied down to a 5-year deal, and already showing the maturity of a seasoned pro. He slid into that right-sided number 8 role with confidence, demanding the ball, linking play, and proving that Hale End continues to be a goldmine. And then, of course, there is the signing of Ebereki Eze. The £80 million man wasn't on the pitch this time, but he is the trump card Arteta never had before. A left-sided creator who can also drift central, someone who can balance Saka's magic on the opposite flank. With Esse in the squad, Arsenal finally have an extra layer of unpredictability when their stars are sidelined. This is why Arteta and Edu went big in the transfer market. Not just to add luxury, but to build resilience. Arsenal are no longer 1 or 2 injuries away from collapse. They now have options, they have weapons, and they have answers. For any other club, losing your best winger and your number 10 in the same afternoon would feel like a disaster. For Arsenal just a year ago, it probably would have meant collapse. But now, thanks to an ambitious transfer window and a squad built with depth, the atmosphere feels very different. There is no panic, only trust that Arteta has the pieces to keep this machine running. Let's start with Bukayo Saka. The talisman, the heartbeat of the right flank, goes down clutching his hamstring. In seasons past, this would have drained all hope. But today, Arteta can turn to Eberechi Esse, a player in full rhythm, coming off a Community Shield triumph with Palace and unlucky to see a goal ruled out against Chelsea on opening weekend.
It is Eze, brilliant!
Eze is not only ready, he's hungry. He can slot into that right side, cut inside onto his stronger foot, and bring his flair to the Emirates stage. If Arteta prefers a more direct option, Noni Madueke is there too, while even young Nelson can provide minutes. For the first time in years, Arsenal have layers of solutions for one of their most important roles. Then there's Odegaard, the captain, the brain forced off early. Once this would have meant Arsenal lost their control of midfield. But today the safety net is thick. Ethan Nwaneri, calm, beyond his years, stepped in and showed why he is the future of this club. Max Daumann, only 15, is also waiting in the wings, proving that Hale End continues to deliver prodigies who aren't afraid of the big stage. Add Christian Nørgaard, Martin Zubimendi, and the tireless Declan Rice, and suddenly Arsenal's midfield looks like a fortress rather than a weak spot. Arteta can shuffle his pack and still maintain superiority. This is the real power of the new Arsenal.
Arsenal received a boost after early indications showed that the injuries by Saka and Martin Odegaard are not as bad as first feared. So that's just the icing on the cake, isn't it, Matisse, after a pretty good first home game for Arsenal?
Yeah. For every position, there are 1 or 2 quality backups. On the right, Saka has Madueke for Gyokeres. There is still a dependency with Havertz and Gabriel Jesus both injured, but once they return, the bench will be out a caliber. Behind Rice, Mikel Merino stands ready. Behind Zubimendi, there is Nørgaard. For Odegaard, it's Nwaneri or Daumann. At left back, Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. At centre back, Mosquera and Kiwior waiting behind Saliba and Gabriel. At right back, Timber and White. In goal, David Raya backed by keeper.
Probably been the team that's been most consistent. Obviously, there's been no drop-off at all in comparison to City and Liverpool last couple of seasons. They've always been second. So with the signings that they've made, like Eze, like Gyokeres, experienced players that are obviously coming in off the back of an FA Cup win, off the back of a big goal-scoring season, they're all win-now type players. They're all players that need to make an impact today, not tomorrow. So the recruitment's kind of gone in line with that. Zubimendi obviously was wanted by Liverpool, City previously. So it's a big season for Arsenal. It's a big season for the manager because I feel like Saliba's contract's running out. You know, there's a couple of others I'm sure that will be looking at things. If they don't win majors or win trophies at all this season after 3-4 years out of not winning anything, then yeah, your period of capitalising on that team, it might start to break up.
Yeah, Arsenal can now practically field 2 different teams, both strong enough to compete in the Premier League. That's what makes this squad terrifying. Injuries that once meant crisis now mean opportunity for others to shine. And that is why this Arsenal feels unbreakable. And now comes the ultimate test. Arsenal's next stop is Anfield, the house of the reigning champions, a fortress where even the bravest sides often crumble. If the Gunners believe their transfer window was spectacular, Liverpool's looks like something out of a nightmare for every rival. They went out and signed Florian Wirtz, the best player in the Bundesliga over the last 3 years, a midfielder who creates magic out of nothing and bends entire games to his will. Then, of course, there is Mohamed Salah, the reigning Premier League MVP, a king who refuses to step off his throne. Last season he scored 34 goals and provided 23 assists, and now under Arne Slot, he looks sharper, deadlier, and more determined than ever. Alongside him stands Hugo Ekitike, a monster of a centre-forward, who has brought his Bundesliga form to England, and already looks like a natural predator in the box. Add Cody Gakpo, a forward who thrives in chaos and always finds a way to hurt opponents, and you get a Liverpool attack that is simply terrifying. For Arsenal, this will be the measuring stick. Anfield will demand everything: discipline at the back, intelligence in midfield, and efficiency in front of goal. The clean sheets, the set-piece dominance, the steel of William Saliba and Gabriel, the feline reflexes of David Raya, all of it will have to be perfect. And then there is Arteta's Ferrari in attack, the new trident of Victor Gyokeres, and for this game Noni Madueke or Max Daumann and Eberechi Esse. They must roar at full speed, punishing any gaps, turning half chances into decisive blows. This is not just another league game, this is Arsenal walking into the Lions' Den against a Liverpool side that looks as complete as any in Europe. To survive, to win, to leave Anfield with points in hand, Arsenal must prove that they are no longer pretenders but true contenders to the crown.